Today, the Federal Open Market Committee decided to reduce the degree of policy restraint by lowering our policy interest rate by a half percentage point. This decision reflects our growing confidence that with an appropriate recalibration of our policy stance, strength in the labor market can be maintained in a context of moderate growth and inflation moving sustainably down to 2%.
So that was Fed Chair Jerome Powell announcing a long-anticipated rate cut for the first time in 4 years. The move to cut the current 5.25% rate down to 50 basis points that caused markets to close at a record high yesterday. But those who gain, who won in all of this? And will the economy be more able to handle more red tape here from the Harris administration should the vice president win come November? Let's ask two ladies who know best. President of Strelmark LLC and business consultant Hillary Forwich, along with former EPA Chief of Staff Mandy Ganasekara. Thank you so much for being here. Hillary, the White House here, they certainly have taken this victory lap over this rate cut, and it's citing this as a key indicator that their strategy is to lower inflation, that it's working. Is that how you're reading this situation here?
Well, pleasure to be back with you again, John. A few things. How do we read it? Well, it's rather a lose-lose situation for them. Jerome Powell, of course, said that the economy was strong. Well, if the economy is strong, why are they cutting it by 50 basis points? Rather didn't make sense. And actually, if you look at the board of governors of the Fed, it's 10-1 Democrats to Republicans. So obviously, there's lots of insinuation that this is political. Hopefully, it will help. One of the major issues we have here, we have lost 115,000 manufacturing jobs, John. And why are they going? And why are companies leaving the US? 976 companies are headquartered in Ireland. Why? Because the corporate tax rates are too high. And you mentioned just quickly there about regulations. Actually, the National Association of Realtors says that its regulations in the US end up costing every single new house that's constructed an additional $20,000 to $30,000. So I think we have too strong of a regulatory environment, and our economy couldn't have been strong. Otherwise, he wouldn't have lowered it by 50 basis points. So there's a huge contradiction here with the insinuation that it was rather a political move.
Interesting point. Mandy, I want to switch gears here a little bit here because fracking has become a main topic here when it comes to the election. And Harris, she sort of flip-flops here. She wanted to ban fracking. Now she doesn't want to ban fracking. Let's watch this one.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah, and starting with what we can do on day one around public land. In particular, let's talk about fracking because we're here in Pennsylvania. I made that very clear in 2020. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as vice president.
I mean, so she said now she doesn't want to ban fracking. But, I mean, she knows that Pennsylvania is going to be very key to her winning the White House if she does that in November. She has to win Pennsylvania. But just dissect this for me. How important is this for this state, fracking, generally speaking? Trump, he's in favor. He says, drill, baby, drill. We got gold, liquid gold beneath our feet. But let's specifically talk about Pennsylvania and fracking. And what does this mean for this state and those people that work there?
It's jobs, jobs, jobs. That's what hydraulic fracturing is for Pennsylvania. Hundreds of thousands of direct jobs, and then a significant number of indirect jobs after. And you think of the economic development and productivity along with that. So Pennsylvania their economy is tied to the growth or not of hydraulic fracturing. And this is what Kamala Harris is doing. She hasn't flip-flopped in any substantive way. She is simply politicking to try and win votes and carry a state that she knows she needs to win if she wants to win this election. But the American people are seeing through that. I mean, look at her actions. If you have questions about whether a politician is being truthful or not, look at their actions. And since day one, the Biden-Harris administration has taken over 250 actions that make it harder to produce oil and natural gas in the United States, including a pause on new leases that help stem and develop the cultivation of more hydraulic fracturing. So this administration has done just about everything to undermine what Pennsylvania and the Pennsylvania Oil and Gas Association do quite well. And that is the key difference here. As you said, rightfully so, President Trump supports American energy, and he knows that a huge part of that is Pennsylvanians extracting, refining, and delivering these resources we need more of safely, efficiently, and with respect to environmental protection.
Yeah, and as we heard earlier from Rick Grinnell, Trump's going to be in Pittsburgh tomorrow, probably still hammering home that same point. Mandy, Hillary, thank you so much for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
John.